This video is about Barack Obama and whether he's an American citizen. So I've read extensively. I've read everything, every accusation, and all the documents I've seen about whether he is here legally. And I'm going to say that the evidence overwhelmingly is that he is not legally American. There's so many evidences of forged documents and loopholes in his story. So I'm going to do it in chronological order. I'm going to give you basically, I'm going to tell you his life story. So his father married more than one woman and dated a lot of women. His father's father was a communist, or no, wait, his father was a communist, and I believe his father was friends with the president of Kenya or something like that. There was some sort of close relationship or some sort of high-level position that he did. And he was a student. He wanted to come to the United States to study in Hawaii and in Washington. And he came here on a private plane that was like owned by a high-level official, like the Kenyan president or something like that. He didn't come on a regular passenger jet, and he may have made more than one flight, but one of those was on some sort of a private plane, which would have allowed him to bring whoever he wanted, because you don't have to buy a ticket. There would be no evidence of a ticket, for example. And there's a newspaper article that says he left his there was a story about him. He was a newsworthy person. We're talking about the 1960s. And it said that he had left a pregnant wife behind in Africa. And I was like, okay, so he had a pregnant wife, which is one of the children in the Barack Obama family. And I said, I'm going to find out who this child was. And I looked and said, okay, if his wife was pregnant within 9 months of that year, there had to have been a birth. And I could not find any record of Barack Obama having a sibling that was born during that time period. And we know who all of his siblings were. So I said, this doesn't make sense. I mean, maybe that was Barack Obama who was that pregnancy. And so the father came here and he didn't have money. And he wanted to receive money from the government, from the U.S. government, to be a student. So in order to do that, he had to be interviewed. And he knew that if he were married and had kids, then he would receive more money. So he allegedly married Stanley Ann Dunham, who Barack Obama says his mother is. And the reason why I say allegedly is because there's no marriage certificate. Nobody knows where the marriage certificate is, and I read that Barack Obama said he searched for it and never found it. So then we have an issue where someone is investigating his claim to receive money, and it's handwritten. And during this investigation, they state that they do not believe that Barack Obama's father and Stanley Ann Dunham were really married. And there was an address provided, and nobody ever confirmed that they had lived at that address. Apparently it was registered to someone else. And so they were in Hawaii, and they met, I guess, in Seattle, taking a Russian foreign language class or something like that. And Barack Obama was born like within the year. I don't know how much thereafter or something like that. And then the father left Stanley Ann Dunham. They were only together for a really short time. And there's a lot of weird discrepancies, and it's going to jump ahead a lot. So now Barack Obama is with Stanley Ann Dunham, which is the Hawaiian woman who actually might have been from Kansas. And she married a guy named Barry Soetoro is Barack Obama. And she married this guy Soetoro, and they went to Indonesia when he was in like 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, for like 4 to 6 years. And the father, I guess, was Indonesian, and he studied in a Muslim school. There's an interview with him. It's written. It's not a voice interview. It's with the New York Times, where Barack Obama says that the call to Islam, the call to prayer, is the most beautiful song he's ever heard. Anyone who says he's not a Muslim, that's just absolutely not true. You know, Barack Obama is a Muslim, and he studied Islam for many years. And everybody in his family is Islamic, and there's photos of him with the Islamic dress on. The guy's a Muslim. It's and I don't care. I really could care less. But people who deny it are just ignorant. So as he came back to the United States, there are documents for him traveling to Indonesia, and there's problems with some of these documents because the mother, Stanley Ann Dunham, has to put down how many children she has, and she put down 0. And this is supposed to be his mother. Why does she say 0 children? And then there's an edit made where something was crossed out, and then Barry Soetoro or Barack Obama or something was listed. So we fast forward to around the age of 18. At the age of 18, an American man has to go to the post office and register for the Selective Service. There's a problem with Barack Obama's Selective Service document that you can go and look at online. You can look at this document and decide for yourself. I believe it was 1980, and it's hand-stamped. The problem is his stamp doesn't look like a normal stamp. The 8 looks like it's upside down. A normal 8 is thinner on the top and bigger on the bottom, and it looks like it's upside down. Or maybe it doesn't say 1980; it just says 80. And no documents were ever printed without the 19. There's no date stamp. That might have been what happened. And what people theorized was that someone took a stamp and turned it upside down, like, for example, in 2008, and cut it in half and stamped his Selective Service document to make it look like it said 80, but it was really 08 stamped upside down or something like that. So there's something fishy about the year date stamp on his Selective Service document. You can go and look at it, decide for yourself. It looks stupid to me. There's another person who claims that he found a document in Vancouver, is it British Columbia? A person changing his name to Barack Hussein Obama. Who knows what that means? Why would that happen? I don't know, but this guy says he found this document. So then we fast forward to, I guess, the 1990s. Barack Obama's going to college. And someone interviewed him, and there's a profile that was published in a paper that said he is a Kenyan-born man who is studying. And then other people say, well, this isn't true, it's fake. I don't know. But this document, you can go look at it and read about it on your own. I don't know. But this is one of the things that people talk about. So then we fast forward to around the time that he was running for president. His tax forms, which apparently you can view because when you run for president, you show the previous 3 years' taxes. People say that his tax forms show a Social Security number that is not his. And he alleges he was born in Hawaii. When you get a Social Security number, they put this, there's a digit that signifies the state that you were born in. Mine is New York. I don't know what. Okay, so it's not 57, but there's one of those numbers that signifies the state of New York. It's like a 2-digit number. His Hawaii Social Security number is for the state of Connecticut. Makes no sense because he never lived in Connecticut. Why would he have a Connecticut Social Security number? And not only that, people allege that his Social Security number is a Social Security number for his wife's aunt. You can go search that and read about it and decide on your own. And his wife is Michelle Obama. So then we get the birth certificate. There was the long form, and then there was the short form. There's the birth announcement, the short form certificate, and then there's the long form. So with the birth announcement, there's someone who went and actually looked at the birth announcement on the reels. I heard that if you want to buy the newspaper, you can buy newspapers that are archived. Like you could say, I want the newspaper for January 1st, 1970, and you can go and buy them. People say that if you tried to buy a newspaper for the day that Barack Obama was born for Hawaii that would contain that birth announcement, it's impossible to get it. Who knows why? So Then you have the birth announcement. This guy went to the 7 libraries in Hawaii to look at the microfiche, and you can go read what he did on his webpage. He says he shows all the reels. There's one reel with the birth announcement on it, and then there's the other reels. The one with Barack Obama's birth announcement is not the original reel. It's brand new, and the film is brand new. And all the other reels are old, different color, beige instead of black, and that the film is old. And he said it was the same thing at all of the libraries. And the other thing he noticed is that the announcement is not done using the same methodology as all the other announcements. The newspapers don't receive them in the order that you're born or anything like that. On a given day, there's like 4 or 5 people born in a hospital, and the hospital sends the information either to the health department or to the newspaper. Somehow it gets to the newspaper in batches of 5 or 6. His batch is 25 people. And his research indicated that there was never a batch more than 5 or 6 or 7 on any of the other days that he looked at. So a 25 batch is unusual. And the rest of them were not in alphabetical order, but Barack Obama's announcement was in alphabetical order. Barack Obama had a misprint in that there was a duplicate entry. The last one was printed twice. We don't know why. But the other issue is, why is there a batch of 25? It's not like 25 people were born in one day at the hospital. So the batch of 25 doesn't make sense. It's as if someone took all the announcements, had to have removed one, put in Barack Obama's, alphabetized them for some reason. Who knows how the duplicate got there? It doesn't make sense, etc. So then we have the short form document. And people say, well, guess what? You don't have to be born in the hospital to get the short form document. Anybody can go to the hospital in Hawaii at this time and say, I had a child, I want this certificate. And they give you the certificate, and I don't even think you have to prove that you have the child, because people weren't necessarily born in the hospital. Some people may have been born at home. And you can get the certificate if the birth was outside the country. So there was a lot of weird things with that document. So then we get the long form document. You can go read on the internet. Everyone has debunked it so much. There's so many defects in that document. It's an amateurish forgery. Snopes.com tries to debunk everything about Barack Obama. And one of the big pieces of evidence is the Nordyke twins, which is spelled Nordyke. And you can go read about it, and it's about how Barack Obama's serial number is not in the correct order. The dates, they stamp it, put a serial number. They put the date, serial number. Theirs was dated in the future, but their serial number came before Barack Obama, which means that his was not serial numbered and dated when they claim it was. So it's a fake serial number. And it's possible for the serial number to be wrong, but within the same day. You understand? So when they get these documents, they might not do it in time order, but the date and that serial number, the date is going to have a range of serial numbers that it's not going to go past. And his did. And Snopes has not refuted it. It's not mentioned on Snopes.com. And I want you to know Snopes.com is not a legitimate website. It's run by a married couple that are liberals, and that's it. And they're proudly liberals. It's not like they're geniuses and they're moderate and they review both sides. No, these people are known liberals. So forget. And factcheck.org is garbage too. So then we've got other issues. There are people who have handled this document who were associated with things that have died. There was a woman who was friends with his mother who got a job at the Hawaii Department of Health. I believe it was after Barack Obama became president, and she somehow became the one who delivered this document to the public. I don't know if it's true, but people say that the woman who worked at the Department of Health who delivered the birth certificate to the public was friends with Barack Obama's mother, Stanley Ann Dunham. That's what people say. You go read the evidence on your own. And then in a small plane crash, she died. There's no explanation because the plane crashed in the water, in the ocean between Hawaii and California. There were like 5 or 6 passengers. They survived. There's no explanation to why she died, why she didn't survive. And nobody knows who the pilot was. This is all unusual. There's a lot of weird things going on. Okay, so that's pretty much okay. So then the other issue is he did have relatives that were in the country illegally. So the accusation is not just against him. There's other people in his family. I, I believe it was his aunt who may have lived in Massachusetts who was caught being here illegally after he was president, and she was granted citizenship. So you can look up that story. In addition, he has a brother who is a U.S. citizen. Maybe he lives in New Jersey or something like that. And recently, a year or two ago, he made a tweet or a statement where he said something like, "Oh, Barack Obama's birth? Yeah, we know the truth about that." He made some weird comment about Barack Obama's birth or his birth certificate, something that implies that he doesn't believe it's real. Like if Barack Obama's brother said, "Oh, Barack Obama's birth certificate, do you really believe that?" He made some sort of statement that puts into suspicion Barack Obama's birth certificate and his birth. So now there's other people who believe that there is a Kenyan birth certificate of Barack Obama that has a footprint on it. I never was able to find anything that says that that's really true. And I don't remember if people have debunked it or not, or if they found that it really belonged to somebody else or something. I don't remember, but I never found anything. There were two Kenyan Barack Obama birth certificates, and all my research, I never found anything that proved that those were real. So I would say be wary about those pieces of evidence. Okay, so there is more documents about Barack Obama when he was younger from his parents' from when his father was trying to get the financial aid and all that. And I don't remember what they were, and they may not have been that significant, but you can go and read them if you want. Okay, so that's it.